I was in Vegas last week and I had an Uber driver, and you know, like when their phone's connected to the Bluetooth, his phone rang, and on the screen it said incoming call from Sloppy Head Queen.
Hey, first of all, you got me at sloppy. Continue.
Welcome to Foster the Podcast.
Now? All right, we're going to get into this. We're going to get into it. Welcome to Foster the Podcast. I'm so excited about this episode, dude.
What's up, baby?
The official podcast of comedian Justin Foster and professional life coach
Hello.
Kristie Lacey. We got a great episode today. My boy JR Cruz is
What's up,
on.
baby? Thank you for inviting me.
Dude, thanks for being here.
This is crazy. I just got here and you just have a book that's like, this is my life.
Yeah, the Love Addiction Workbook.
The Love Addiction Workbook.
JR saw it, his eyes lit up. I was like, we're going to get into it.
I was like, whoa, you wrote a book about me. Nice.
This is an intervention, actually. Thank you for coming.
Oh,
Can we get all your exes in here, please?
oh, but dude, I've had a dream like that. That's crazy, dude. I stayed calm and collect.
Did you really?
Which is kind of scary.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I stayed calm, dude.
You just...
I'm going to take it.
Have you ever guys had dreams of like your exes just morphing? And it's one person and they just keep morphing the whole time?
No.
And you're just like,
No, man.
and then you're like, oh, damn, wait, go to the other one. You know what I mean?
No, not that one.
Yeah.
The one from college.
Yeah. Dude, I'm sure I've never told a therapist that or a dream specialist, but that's got to be some trauma right there, right?
I don't know if it's trauma or is it like saying that he always picks the same type of woman?
Yeah,
That's
that it's
what-
all the same person with different faces.
Right, which is, you've said that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. Already, dude, less than a minute, I'm going to start crying. Whoa, I'm gonna start.
How was your relationship with your mother?
Holy shit, dude. That's crazy, dude. I thought I was going to have fun over here, but
No, not on this show.
you know what, though? I'm going to tell you guys this. When you told me to come to the podcast, I said yes. I didn't even know what the podcast was. Okay. And then when he told me what it was, there's a life coach and, dating coach or whatever, I was like, oh, shit, that's dope. I can tell you all my crazy stories. And,
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we're here.
That's what we're here for.
She's the
That's what
boring
we live
married
for.
one, and then you and I are the ones who bring the plot.
Gee, baby boy, let's do
Yes,
it.
dude. We stopped doing the show when I was in a relationship because nothing was relatable. And now we can go through the journey again.
I like that.
Yeah.
So how long have you been married?
Almost 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, almost 10 years. 2 kids.
You know what? I would years ago I'd have been like, I feel bad for you. I feel bad for you. And now I'm like, sounds like peace.
How do you do it?
It is peaceful.
Sounds like peace.
Yeah.
That's nice. 2 kids.
2 kids.
Happy.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yep,
they got a
yep,
good
yep.
You said
relationship.
halfies?
They're happy. No, they're
Oh, wow. Dude, my bad, bro.
actually thirdsies, right?
Oh.
Yeah, technically.
Sorry, I didn't know it was that kind of podcast. Dude, I really thought you said halfies. I was like, dude, they have a really good relationship on this podcast. This is crazy. I was like, I didn't know that's how you gotta describe kids nowadays.
Halfies.
I'm 2024. I'm outdated now,
It's
dude.
all right. It's our time. January
Yeah.
6th became our time again. So
Oh,
I can say
God.
whatever I want. No. Do you want kids?
I wouldn't mind kids, and I had to think about that because I've thought about it before, where I've gone through like no kids and yes kids. I think now it's a lot of there's a lot of women now that don't want to have kids, and if I just happen to be with one that doesn't want to have kids, then I'll have to like come to that realization and be like, all right, cool. I'm also up for adopting because sometimes women don't want to have kids because they can't or they don't want to go through the thing. So I'm down to, get a little.
Yeah. Little little
Open
halvesy.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Little halvesy kid?
Little halvesy. I was going to go only halvesy.
Yeah. Only halvesy.
Only
Yeah,
halvesies.
yeah.
That's the only way to go because you're 50% chances of them making the league.
Oh,
great,
nice.
dude.
Nice. Yeah.
And I've always said if I adopt a baby, and it depends when you adopt them, because all the trauma happens before 5 years old, right? So I would have to decide when do I want to adopt them.
Like, how much trauma do you want to deal with?
Yeah.
You want some damaged kid.
No, actually, I might.
Justin.
But I might.
Yeah.
Right.
Because now selfishly, if I can't fix them, I'd be like, I wasn't there for the formative years.
Right. Not my fault.
But if he becomes amazing, I'm like, you see?
It was me.
Turned his
It was
life
all
around.
me.
All
dude.
me.
Yep.
It was all me. No,
Yeah.
but messing around. But yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know. It all depends on the situation and the person I'm with.
Christie's dream for me is what? What your dream
My
for me?
dream for you is a woman with like a 5-year-old kid. I think that I want him stepdad. I want to stepdad him.
Can I tell you right now? That's my dream too. To be a stepdaddy.
Yeah.
What is the bell?
Right? The bell's either a red flag or a good thing.
Oh, wait.
This thing, it's both.
There's no bell for her. That's no red flag. That's great.
Okay,
That's
okay.
great.
I'm 100% being like the cool stepdad.
Yeah.
100%.
But I also have stipulations to that.
Oh, yeah?
Okay.
I would want the real father to either be in jail or passed away.
That's so specific.
Yeah, and preferably be like a little girl, like 6, 7, or 8 little girl.
The child to
The
be
child
a
to
little
be a
girl.
little
Not
girl.
the dad.
Not the dad.
Not the dad. No.
I thought the same thing you thought. I was like,
My
he's
bad.
got to be in jail and also transitioning. So.
Yeah, he has to be a little bitch so I can punk.
He's
Why
got to be in
in
jail, not
jail?
just a deadbeat.
I said in jail or dead.
Okay.
He can't
I
just
didn't
be an
just say-
alcoholic somewhere.
I get the fully out of the picture thing, but why in jail? Is it that doesn't seem scary to you?
No,
In
because
jail for nonviolent crime.
it doesn't matter what.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
my father was in jail for
Yeah.
violent crimes and stuff
Okay.
like that.
Mine was
and
in jail for
I
not-
needed a father.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mine was
You
in
know
jail
what I mean?
for
So
nonviolent crimes.
why am I
That's
gonna?
true.
That's not gonna be the criteria that I cut out.
Great.
You
Right.
know.
Love it.
But yeah.
I have a theory on why you said that. I'm going to bring it up later in
Mm-hmm.
this episode, but I think it's going to come full circle.
Okay.
If I'm right, which I think that I am, I have a theory on why you said that. But my dad was in jail for nonviolent crimes, and I had a stepdad.
Mm-hmm.
He stepped in and sort of like, because you're only going up from there. If you're the stepdad, all you have to do is not go to jail.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's a few other things.
Christie's looking at you was like,
There's a few other things you probably
what is
should-
wrong with you?
But the bar is pretty low as a stepdad. You're like,
I want to establish off the bat that there's a lot of dude energy in this room right now, so I'm just trying to keep up with it. Okay? There's a high level of dude energy that's going on.
good
that's going on
stepdad
here today.
energy. Good
Okay.
stepdad energy.
Second of all, what about just like you don't like the buddy dad, like the bud who's just the dad, the bio dad's totally cool, married to some other woman.
So again, I'm half joking. But it like in my ideal situation.
Okay.
I think that dealing with because I've seen a lot of fathers that are not with their kids, but they're still in the picture.
Yeah.
And then the people are dating, and it's just so
I was right.
so
was right.
so chaotic. So I'm not just having a I didn't just agree to have a relationship with a woman with a kid. I agreed to have a relationship with all their counterparts.
Yeah.
And I'm down to do that if I can mitigate some of the counterparts.
Gotcha.
That's fair.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know? And I said that's ideal. I'm going to say
Right.
that's not what, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like your deal breaker. He's not in jail. I gotta go.
He's not in jail. What?
He's just a gambler. He lives on the street. I don't know.
Well, we got to get him in jail.
Can we call him in
Yeah.
or what?
Plant this needle in his car.
And I say, like, and again, this is just ideal stuff. I'm not saying this is my
Right.
strong thing.
Right.
But I also think like a stepdad to a little girl is a lot better, I think.
Okay.
Because the man is always, I was a kid who didn't have a father. If anybody had to try to come in my life as a kid, as a thing, I'd be like, who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? So I think it's easier because as a stepdad of a little girl, you don't have to do much. Stay away, give them money, and show their mother all the love, and then they're gonna see that you're worth it. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
you just, as an example, you're just like, I'm giving your mother love and I'm treating her right, and the little girl's gonna see that and be like, oh man, maybe I could have a man like this through example. I don't know.
A lot of that is very sweet. A lot of it is very inaccurate of what it takes to raise a girl, but I do think that the thought behind it is a very good one of that however a man treats the woman
teaches the daughter
daughter how they want to be treated. I definitely think that that's true.
What do you disagree with? The give them the money part?
Young girls are, myself included when I was young, feral most of the time and can be just as much of a, like, there's a lot to raising a girl and keeping them safe in a world that is not safe for girls. And there's like a lot of stresses that go into like having a little girl. In your version of having a little girl, she is like super on board, right? With like what you're bringing to the table, as opposed to like a full-fledged wild child girl, which could also be the option as well.
But he doesn't want that.
No. But here's
no wild child, dad in prison. He's got his ideals.
I think also if I because I want like a girl stepdaughter is because I grew up with very masculine men and then very tough women. I grew up with a lot of women. I also think like as like raising a little in this scenario that we have, raising a child that's not mine and it's a little girl. I think it'd be great because then I could, talk to them in a way I wasn't spoken to. You know what I mean? As a little kid,
sure.
With kindness and love and stuff like that. And I mean, I'm sure you do that to little boys as well, but it'd be a little bit easier on my part. This is selfishly.
Gotcha.
For me.
Yeah.
It'd be a little bit easier to be like, we're in the, having a tea party.
Right.
With the little girl.
Right.
Yeah. You get to be the masculine and the feminine energy to like a young girl. And if the young girl turns out good, it's more satisfactory than just a dude turning out all right.
Yeah.
You're like, I raised a queen.
Right.
Yeah.
It's more,
But the way that you speak is so authentic and like genuine that as I listened to you speak, I was like, you'd be perfect to raise a little boy, right? To come with them in that non-toxic masculine way and be able to talk to them on the level as hey, I'm not your dad, I'm your stepdad. Like you can kind of get in there and be like on that level and give them a safe place to be too.
Well, thank you for that. I think, as you guys keep probing, which is you're not really probing, but I think it's because maybe I see a little boy as like, that's a hard task for me.
Yeah.
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 Just thinking about the ask of that when you're on a date with a woman, you're like, is it a boy or a girl? Because I don't do little boys, okay?
I'm not saying this is what I...
Listen, it's a hard no on boy.
First of all, this scenario is weird. It is weird to have. Because I'm just going to come with a piece of paper. This is my criteria.
Right.
At that point, I'm going to have to hire a dating coach that just looks out for that.
Right.
I was like, what? I told you I want a little girl.
Dad's got to be in prison. You ever date a girl with dads around? I don't understand. I don't know how to navigate that.
Well, I was in high school.
Yeah, I don't know how. Like, dad's an alcoholic. I understand that, right? Dad's not around. I got that. Like, dad's in the picture is very. I don't know. It's weird.
That's a red flag?
That's.
No, I got to. I have to tell you, I was out.
A red flag.
I was out with a woman the other day. She told me that when she has lunch with her dad, after they have lunch, he'll Venmo her $1,000.
I don't know what the problem is. First of all, ideal scenario. Can I change my scenario now? I want them to have money.
Yeah. I want to go out to lunch with the dad.
Dude, Vanessa Bryant, that's what I'm looking for.
So first of all, what I love about this is that we just talked about like the dad setting the stage of like where the bar should be, right? So this chick is not going to walk through life putting up with anything.
Zero.
If every time you go out to lunch with your daddy hands you $1,000, you are absolutely wasting zero time with anybody.
Yeah.
It does beg the question why we need to give $1,000 to have someone to have lunch with us, but I don't know the answer to that question. It could just be generosity.
And also like I don't know how to compete. You know what I mean? Like
Did
I
she
don't
tell
know.
you that? Did she tell you that?
She told me that, and I didn't know how to compete.
How was it though? Was it like you guys were cuddling?
Can't.
She paid. She wouldn't
Yeah.
let me.
First of all,
I know.
Okay,
I know.
not the one. But hey, not the one, but take the meal.
I took the meal.
Because you know, on the flip side, they will take the meal too.
But I just try to like, I have nothing to, you know what I mean? I don't
Offer?
have, like if my dad gave me $1,000 after lunch, it's because he needs it laundered. You know what I mean? Like I have no experience. I have no experience with this. I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's like
the
all right.
chronic issue of many people, but what you see oftentimes in women of feeling like they need, right? There's like that worldview of like you need the man for this and that, and you need to be like.
They don't need us.
Wind that this girl knows. She knows for a doubt. She's like, I don't need your dinner. I really need nothing from you.
Nothing.
I've got it all here. If I keep you around, it's because I really like you. And that is like the purest way to find the right person for you. Is
Really?
that like I don't need anything. I've got everything that I need. But if you're a good match for me, then I'll hang out with you because you know, it's just because I like you. It's not because I need you.
So then that's a good thing. Then that's a good fit for him?
Well,
I'm confused. I was confused. I was like, wait a minute. This is the purest form?
I don't know if it's a good match for you. I'm just saying that although it sounds odd to tell the story, I think that the dad's doing her some favors. Again, I don't know what the backstory is, but just the act of itself and her having that confidence and that lack of like need of validation or anything from the outside, I like the sound of that. I think she's
Will
doing
never let
great.
me pay. Every time we go to get a meal, will never let me pay.
Why would she?
I don't know.
Because
It
she's
feels
amazing
Nice. It feels nice.
and she's right for you. And ask her if she has a sister.
I want to date the dad. What do you mean the sister? I want to date the dad. Are you
First of
kidding
all,
me?
I don't know how you're not going golfing with the dad already. You know he has a membership, my boy.
100%.
You know he has a membership.
That's golfer behavior.
That's
for
golfer
sure.
behavior all
That's
day.
golfer behavior for
20,
sure.
21-inch foot boat, at least.
Yeah.
At least, bro.
My dad Venmo requests me when we hang out. Oh my god, dude! I have to tell you this story. I was in Vegas. This is the type of relationship I want. This is what the type of relationship I was in Vegas last week, and I had an Uber driver, and you know, like when their phone's connected to the Bluetooth.
Yeah.
His phone rang, and on the screen it said incoming call from Sloppy Head Queen.
Hey, first of all, you got me at sloppy. Continue.
Oh boy.
And he looks at me and he goes, I gotta take this. I was like, yes, you do.
I've got to take this is amazing.
I was like, you can let me out right here. I understand.
He said sloppy head queen.
Sloppy Head Queen across the thing, and he looked at me and I looked at him and I was like. He answered it, and it was his his lady. She was like, "Hey, babe, how's your night?" It was like his woman.
That's fucking funny.
I was like, that's
hey,
awesome.
baby,
Yeah.
so did you take the kids?
Yeah. Are you driving? How's your night? Yeah, I got pastures right now, hon.
yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to bother you. I hope you're having a
I
good
don't
night.
want to bother you from Sloppy Head Queen.
It was not the dynamic I was expecting.
That's
from
the funny thing is that I feel like that was done as a prank, and it was just so funny. He just kept it there.
100%.
Yeah.
And he had forgotten, and then when it flashed on his.
Dude, I mean, I don't want you to do, but if I put my phone on plane mode, or no, car, like I put on do not disturb, can you text me and then see what the message comes out?
From me?
From you.
Like, what is my numbers?
No. You're gonna text me. I'm on do not disturb, and it's gonna give you an outgoing message.
So text you right
God.
now?
Yeah. Just it's not bad. It's not bad.
If you have me listed in your phone.
It's right at me. It's not.
It's not bad. It's
If
not
I'm
a
in
bad
your
thing.
phone as Sloppy
Said
Head
about
King, I'm going to be
60
very
times
upset.
Super fast.
It's not bad.
It's not
No,
bad.
it's not bad.
It's not
Not
bad.
bad.
Texting JR Cruz.
I don't believe you.
Automated message. Hello, I'm currently on break for the next 12 to 24 hours. If it's important, please call me. Otherwise, I will get back to you at my earliest convenience. Thank you. Have a blessed day. All hoes, please text my other phone.
And I keep that regardless. Forever. That's staying there forever. No matter if I'm married or not. That's just good.
That's just good.
That's just good.
Bro,
He's a businessman.
have a blessed day. Followed by all hoes capitalized.
Yeah.
Please text my other phone.
It's a proper noun.
I did that once and it just was funny and it's staying there forever.
That's amazing.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, dude.
That's amazing.
Excellent.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Sloppy head queen.
Like the biggest font, and he like looked at the screen and then looked in the rear view, and I was like,
That's hilarious, dude. I like that guy.
yeah.
Right, that's a good one.
And then his lady was like, "Hey, babe, how's your night? How's your driving?" You know.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, "That's love right there."
Hilarious.
That's so funny.
All right, I have to ask. So we do this. Two things.
Yeah.
One, when you're dating a woman,
Mm-hmm.
and she, what is something that a woman will do that will make you lose interest immediately?
I've just recently found out that I'm an avoidant attachment.
We've talked about that on the show too.
Yeah, so almost everything. Almost every.
So you're looking for a way out.
No, I'm looking for a way out, and it sucks. Now
so
that I
the
know
love
this-
addiction does not apply.
It does though.
Okay.
It does.
it's the other
because
profile.
it's
the
I
flip.
want it, and then when I have it, it's too much,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to push it away. So like the things that I know now with knowledge and age, I know now that there's certain things. Oh, if a girl's bringing this to the table, I can't. There's no way I could do it. But then
What's
there's
this?
little things.
Like a boy,
Like a boy.
like
Yeah,
a kid, like a son.
She's bringing a boy. I can't do that. I can't do it. You know what? Because I don't mind. I went on a date with a girl. This was a while, a couple years ago, and we were like on our fourth date, and she didn't tell me she had a child. I found out through we were in the car, and
There's a car seat.
no. We were in the car. We were in the car and we were playing music, right? You're at that
Yeah.
third date stage, just making out, playing music, and I was like, "Oh, let me see your Spotify."
Right.
And then she didn't do it, and I actually not look at phones. And then when she plugged it in, there was a bunch of kids songs.
It's the
Hit
Goofy
you with the
movie.
baby shark.
And then I go,
Yeah.
and then I go,
Baby
oh,
Shark.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you have a kid? And she goes, yeah. And then I go, oh, how old? And then, dude, she said the magic words. She was like, oh, she's like 5 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
5-year-old she.
Yes, but what I didn't like was that she didn't tell me
you.
up front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how come she didn't have the screensaver of her and her kid? Isn't that usually the mom and the kid's the screensaver?
Yeah.
That means she
Yeah.
changed it.
I don't know.
Or
maybe.
doesn't have it.
Or doesn't
when
have it
she's dating.
when she's dating.
That's rough.
She was a cool girl. Everything
She's
like
not
that.
listening.
Yeah.
It's fine.
No. I unfollowed her. It's fine. No, I don't even know. She probably still follows me. I don't know. Sorry, you're great.
Yeah, When do you bring that
When
up?
do you guys think you should tell
Up front.
Immediately.
first date, right?
Up front.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Up front.
Yeah.
We talked about this previously. There's a guest that we had who's younger who likes to date older women.
Yeah.
But a lot of times age gets in the way. When they hear how old he is, they get turned off. And we were talking about, but you got everything. Whether or not, if you're hard that you don't want to have children, if you're hard that you do, if there's anything that's like
Is that
a
first
major,
date? I'm so sorry to cut you off, but is that first date or is that second date?
I think it's before the first date.
You think so?
I think it's first message before the first date.
There's certain things I think before. Yeah, you're right. Before the date, but I also don't like prescribe to the idea that you have to have like 10 major things you have to ask in the first date.
Sure, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because I think, like any of us, we're all human. We all say that we have a thing that's going to let us be in or out. But honestly, if the person's cool enough, some of that thing moves in priority.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It moves in priority. Like, one of my cousins was like, I don't want to date someone that lives further than 30 minutes.
Right.
And that was, it quickly would move if
Right.
he's like, nah, she hot, dude. I could do an hour 10. You know?
Yeah, you talk, but then you're talking about hooking them, right? That means you're like being a little evasive to get them hooked, and then dropping them. Oh, by the way, I live 2 hours away. By the way, I have a kid. It just starts a little dishonest, right?
Yeah. I definitely think you can't make it past the second date. I definitely think big things like that should be brought up on the first date. And a thing that we always talk about that you just brought up is, like we just talked about, the must-haves and deal breakers, which are sort of setting up, instead of like the things like distance, anything that you can tolerate or that can be changed if someone's cool enough, you leave that in the middle. Like it's like a bowling lane, right? And then the bumpers are the must-haves and the deal breakers. So deal breakers are things that do not shift no matter what. So that's like if someone is abusive, if someone is, I don't know, if you're like can't be with someone who's a drug addict. You can't be with someone who, whatever it is. You have these like hard lines. And then on the other side, you have these things that in your heart you could not be happy without. I could not be happy without a partner who is like funny. Like that's like a big thing to me. Like I have to have that like kind of goofy side. We need to be able to do silly things together. It's something that I need in order to be happy. And so that for me is like a must have. And you kind of play everything else within that is sort of a buffer zone of like preference. And there's a difference between preference and actual boundaries.
Yeah, I like that. And I think as for me, like when I was in my 20s, you don't think of none of that
None
shit.
Of it.
Right.
Yeah.
You're just like, if she's hanging out with me,
She thinks I'm funny.
say yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally. She could have let you know subtly too. She could have had like stickers on the minivan or something, like a little thing of milk. Like, oh, this is crazy.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And back then, I think I would have done it just to say, like, I'm dating a mom.
Yeah. Just for the story.
I'm just dating a mom. Yeah, I just got a dating mom.
I know. I feel like you're like me, where you stick around a little bit for the plot.
Maybe the plot. That's a red flag. I don't know. I stick around.
Maybe not anymore.
Yeah,
but I'm saying
yeah.
there's a point where like something happens on the date. You're like, this is probably not going to happen long term, but let's see.
I'm a great dater, like a dater, which is bad.
Okay.
I said this sentence the other day, and someone was like, "Yeah, that's bad." I don't think that's bad.
I don't think that is bad, but go ahead, finish your thought.
I think that's bad because I have been on dates, and it's my thing. I've been on dates, and I know, like, I don't like this girl. And it kind of, like, drops all the pressure and everything. So then I have a great time with them. And then I'm like, I know I don't want anything with them, but I'm like, but I had a fucking great time. Hey, let's kick it again.
Yeah. Yep.
But I already know I don't want anything with them. So
Are you upfront about that?
No, I haven't.
No.
First of all, you could have told by my body language I wasn't upfront.
No. I don't tell them that.
No,
Not
no,
anymore,
no.
but this is
my
back
little
then.
secret.
This is before I read books.
Yes.
This is before I read books. Now that I'm reading books, my whole personality is changing. Turns out I didn't know I had one.
Right.
So
I could tell JR and I both have been on like this like self-improvement journey,
Yeah.
trying to be better men. Not that we were bad men before, but just trying to be better, right? And it's a lot of that is the self-awareness of like, I don't want anything, right? And I'm going to be honest with you, and then we'll just go our separate ways. Versus like, I do like the attention, and like we did have fun.
But that takes us so long, bro, because especially like I'm a love addict. I'm a love addict, dude.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's hard to say out loud. Because they're like,
Yeah.
I go to men's meetings.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do the work, and it's just all stems from as you know, childhood, and validation seeking and shame, and all that. And now that I have a little bit of wherewithal, I can poke fun of it and make fun of it. Especially I'm a comic, but back in the day, I was just going through the motions of doing all these things. But even having the wherewithal or the knowledge of why I do the things I do, it's still fucking hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still hard.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
You probably know this because you know every story that I have. But I had a situation after a break. I just got out of, I was in a relationship for a long time, broke up. And I was doing the work that you're doing, right? And I was having all this awareness, right? And I met this comic at an open mic. And very pretty. We had a nice rapport. She was messaging me on Instagram, like, hey, I think we should hang out. Hey, do you want to come by? Whatever.
Yeah.
And old Justin would have been like, let's do it. Like, I'm hurting. Like, let's make ourselves feel better. Da-da-da-da. And then I was like, hey, look. And this is the hardest thing. Hey, look.
Yeah.
I just got out of a relationship with a comic. I don't think hooking up with another comic in the scene is probably the best move.
Yeah.
Think you're great, whatever, and moved on, right? Yeah. To me, that is all recovery. That is all, because as a dude, that's the hardest, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she was like, cool, got it, no problem.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right.
I'm not at that level, Justin. I'm just like, I'll just keep looking at it.
Yeah. And then she unfollowed me on Instagram. So,
Oh, she did? Yeah. I would have hit her back up. What the fuck?
Which is a comic is the hardest part, right? I don't mind not getting laid. I just don't want to
You lost a follower.
lose my follower count.
Yeah, but the wherewithal is different. Like, yeah. Being on the road back then, before recovery, and then being on the road with recovery is a lot different.
There's a knowledge that you have that's hard to go backwards from there.
Yeah.
And then when you do that behavior, you feel not great.
No, you don't. And you play the tape out. I think now I play the tape out. I play the everything out. Or I go, okay, yes, it feels good. The validation feels good. What next? What next? What after that? What after that? What after that? And don't get me wrong, sometimes it still feels good, dude. Sometimes a girl flirting with you and you're staying around, you're sticking around a little too long, and you're like, I shouldn't be doing this, but kind of feels good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's just comes with, I think, it comes with age and awareness. And I think, like, dude, I think everybody needs to read the Sex and Love Addict book. I think 100%. Everybody codependency. I'm sure I'm codependent there. You know what I mean? We all have gone through some shit, and it's like I didn't believe like the attachment styles. It was so funny because I've heard of them years ago, but I'm a big like I don't believe that shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like astrology, you text me astrology thing. I was like, I wasn't even gonna come.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they want to talk about astrology?
Yeah.
God damn, Foster.
Which is funny because what you brought up at the beginning of the episode, it plays into my astrology thing I have on you.
Wait,
Oh
All
my
right.
God.
So, but yeah, you're
You
right.
did
I think
deep
everyone
dive?
should do the work, and this is like a workbook that I've been working through. The Love Addiction workbook.
They should do it.
And I'm just gonna read because we went over this earlier. Here's the top 5. You ready? The top 5 stages. Ready?
Okay.
Number 1, the inciting incident. Right? It's someone that you meet that triggers that, whatever it is. If I can get this person, then mom or dad, whatever that thing is, right?
So what's your thing? What would be your thing that would get you hooked off the bat? What's the vibe that gets you in the first place?
I think someone who is a little bit aloof, a little bit unattainable, but shows me a little bit of interest where I'm like, there's enough there where I can be like, okay, this is, if I can get her, you know what I mean? It's a little kind of like
knowing you'll have to work for it for you is enticing.
Yes.
What about for you?
Yeah.
Or is it just the attention?
It's all of it. It's if they show me attention before. This is before recovery.
Yes.
Which I'm actively doing recovery and I'm doing the work.
Yeah.
But before it'd be like they show me attention, perfect. They don't show me attention, perfect.
Gotcha.
They kind of give me perfect.
Yep.
And it's just, it was figuring out, to me, it became, when I was in high school, I was funny. And that's the only way I got attention from women, right? And, looking back at my photos, I never thought I was a decent looking guy when I was in high school or middle school like that. Looking back at the photos, my boy was a stud, okay? I'm not gonna lie, you ladies, you guys are dicks.
No, not into the camera.
Yeah, you ladies are dicks because you guys didn't tell me I was a stud back in the day.
They probably didn't know back
I was
then.
walking around with insecurities. Goddamn, now it's the opposite. Now I see all my insecurities. It's like, God damn it, JR. You had beautiful hair back then.
Yeah, you didn't appreciate
You
it when you
son
had
of a bitch, you were over there wallowing. I want this girl. I'm like, you should have just went up to her and just smacked her with your hair. You're like, follow me.
Ladies
like
love
Rapunzel.
We're having a good time. But anyway.
All right, number 2 though is the craving the dopamine oxytocin hit, right? Is where that in the example it says like we go to their social media page, we go to their place of business, we get kind words or sort of like a little bit of breadcrumb from maybe like a text back, and you get that like
that little rush.
That's where the fantasy starts, right?
Fantasy
you start
starts
coming
there.
up with little stories in your head
Yeah.
about what they're like. And, okay.
And that's what I'm saying, when it's too much, when they're texting too much, right? And they're like too engaged, and then you're like, but when they take a little bit longer to respond, and then you get that text, you're like, okay, all right, and that triggers
I
the
hear
sort
you.
of.
I'm on both ends, bro. I
Yeah.
like any, because to me it would be like, oh, and it sucks to say, and I don't want to sound like a dick. I'd just be like, it'd be like whatever they give me, I'll go, oh, you're this kind of girl. Perfect. That's what I got.
So you know how to navigate.
I know how to maneuver this one.
Right. It becomes a game, or
it becomes
like,
a fucking game, and it sucks so bad because I wasn't even aware that it was a game for me. It was a way of numbing myself.
Right.
But yeah, to me it would be all types. That's why I would go on dates with all types of girls, which is crazy. You know what I mean? So I was like, I don't need it. You're a stripper. I shouldn't be around. You're never gonna meet my family.
Right.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
It's interesting though, because it talks about like the high of it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And it is that of like, it sucks to say that it's a game, but most of the time, like your brain perceives it as chasing that high. Like, okay, I know what I need to do to like get into this game, as opposed to like, I want to mess with somebody, or like I'm going to be mean to a chick. You know what I mean?
That's number 3 is the setting up repeated dosage, which is the fantasy, the daydream, the codependency comes in, right? Where we change our schedule, develop new hobbies. We kind of change who we are to sort of like, you like the thing, I like, So that's number 3, which is what Kristie just touched on. Number 4 is, and this is my favorite, is painting all the red flags green.
Oh, dude. Ding that again, dude. She likes to go out all the time. You know what? I don't go out all the time.
I should go out more.
I should go out more. Like, she's living life. Like, you only live life one time. As far as I know, you only live once. Why should I be a hermit?
Right, look how social she is.
She's great, dude. She's always having fun. Like, I need someone in my life for that, because if not, I'll get stuck at home.
Right. Look, this is great.
This is great.
God, guys, all girls and guys, they
dude, she has such a big friend group. Right. She hangs out with her ex-boyfriend. That means she's what?
It's perfect.
Oh, it's perfect. The dude's cool. The dude is cool.
He's awesome. Right? That means she's good at ending relationships. They stay in contact. It's so perfect.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, she's got an ankle monitor on. It's fine.
Yeah, every girl hates on her. Of course they would. Cause she's so amazing.
Why wouldn't she have girlfriends? Girls are catty. And the last one, my friends.
What is that?
The end.
The end.
End of the fantasy. Something happens. They show you who you really are. You find out who they really are. Whatever. They cut you off. They find somebody else. They get back with her. Whatever. And it's the end. And you're left.
Or you get together and it's the mundane, right? You get together. You get in a relationship. You're both going to work.
They don't wipe their shoes on the goddamn carpet before they walk in.
You're okay with all the other stuff, and if they don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's got a needle in her arm, but take your shoes off, huh?
Yeah.
I jokingly say that, but
not.
But not. But yeah.
But no. Also no.
I jokingly say it.
All right.
We're not animals here.
I'll ignore everything, but take your goddamn shoes off. All right, here's what I wanted to do today. Here's what I wanted to do.
You did
with
a horoscope
you guys.
thing on me?
I did both of you guys, because you're both Scorpios.
No.
Oh, you're a Scorpio? You had a cool vibe. I liked it. I don't believe nothing in I don't believe nothing in like that, but your vibe was cool, dude.
October 25th, October 29th.
Yeah.
My 2 Scorpios here.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to do this. So I met these hippie girls at a wedding, right?
Okay.
And I'm like you with astrology stuff, or whoever. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
But I will say, the girl I was talking to was like, I need your birth date. I need your time, whatever. I texted my mom. I was like, hey, Mom, what time was I born? My mom was like, who is she?
Yeah.
That sort of deal.
Yeah.
Love a good chart.
They put all my information in, and it was false. Everything couldn't have been. I was like, that's not me. That's not me. And the girl was like, are you serious? I've been doing this a long time. I'm like, sorry, hon. Not me. She's like, all right. And then she looked, and she had put in the wrong month.
Yeah.
And she put the right month in, repopulated, and it was
It's always right.
spot on.
It's always right.
It was spot. So where I was like reading it, I was like, she was like, what happened when you turned 30 this month? And I was like, oh, that's when I moved to LA and got sober. She's like, what happened? And it was like,
lost some. JR's walking out.
Crazy. So here's what I want to do for you guys. I looked up y'all's, and here's the good qualities of a Scorpio. All right.
First of all, I like validation. I'm gonna agree with everything you say about it.
Well, we're gonna do your red flags too. So here's the good. You guys are passionate.
Surely.
And I can speak to the next one on both of you guys. Loads of charisma.
Surely.
You know what I
Surely.
mean? Deeply loyal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then you guys create deep, intimate connections with people.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, here's the Scorpio red
shit.
flags. And here's why what you were saying about why you want dad out of the picture.
Oh.
Being possessive is number one.
Never.
And you, I know, is for a fact. And you being like, I want dad in prison or dead.
Not a
That's
day
a
in
bit
my
strong word, man.
Number one.
Possessive is a strong word. That's the one thing I do, like with the Scorpio signs, because every girl's done it for every girl. And you know what? Not gonna lie. Before recovery, I'd be like, what? I don't know anything. Tell me. What? That's how I'm like? Get out of here.
Yeah.
I was like, I could fucking tell you this shit in my sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the possessive and the jealousy one, that's never been me.
Bro.
Couldn't be more jealous.
But here's the thing. You are jealous?
Very.
Very jealous.
Very
She has
jealous.
a ring cam just for her husband.
No, I do. Absolutely not.
Sick, dude.
None of that is true.
She's checking it. Do you have a dog? No.
I could have jealousy, but sometimes the jealousy is not like it's a different kind of jealousy. It's a hey, I want more attention from you. It's not you're giving someone else attention.
Right.
You're just not giving me
You're also
attention.
older and healthy, right?
Yeah.
This is
Right.
probably unrecovered red flags.
But it's
Scorpio.
also not good because then when they give me too much attention, I'm like, stop giving me attention.
I know.
Typical Scorpio
I
behavior.
know the same shit,
Typical
dude.
Scorpio
Well, that's the love avoidance stuff.
It's
man.
the love
like,
avoidance.
I need
Give
all
it
the
to me
attention
and
then-
don't give it to me at all because
know.
then I feel trapped.
I know.
I feel like I feel like you're telling me to give you that, and I'm like, my gas tank isn't
It's empty.
made that way.
I
No,
know.
it's not made. It's not that it's empty. In my brain, I was like, it's not made that way.
Yeah, I could not relate more.
You know.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Give me some more red flags.
Lack of trust.
Yeah, I don't trust anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Secretive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stubborn.
Yeah. I'm getting better at it though. All these are traits that I'm getting better at.
Last two. Vengeful.
No.
No.
Kristie.
Well, okay.
Kristie will light a building on fire.
Yeah.
Yes, in my youth, I was much more vengeful than I am now. Now I
Describe.
just think it.
Describe. Oh, dude, I think it all the time. I think it all the time, dude. You don't know how many times I've fucked someone up, dude. I beat your ass.
Yeah.
Plenty of time. No, I haven't.
Well.
But I wanted to beat up that guy outside my apartment when he was hitting that other guy.
That was crazy.
That was crazy, dude. Yeah. But vengeful. No, I think now in my older years, I'm just I try to be more. I don't want to carry that energy.
Yeah.
And the last one is obsessive. Scorpios can be obsessive.
I'm obsessive.
Yeah.
I could be obsessive.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna still call bullshit on all that.
Okay.
Because you just gave me words and characteristics. You could have gave me more of those, and I could have said yes or no. You could have changed those and put different ones in there, and I would have been like, "Oh yeah."
Well, I don't think
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
feel as a Cancer. I don't feel most of those apply to me.
You're a Cancer. Mm-hmm. I knew you were a Cancer. You gave me that energy. Okay. Can I tell you guys a story? There was one time I was on set for something, and she was a beautiful older lady, and she walks up to me and she goes, "You're a Scorpio." And I go, "How do you know?" She goes, "Because I like you, and I'm a Cancer, and we go really well together." And I go, "Oh, I didn't know that." So then from that day on, I would just go up to women and be like, "You're a Cancer." And if they would say yes, I was in. Buddy!
Did it work?
Buddy! It was great.
Is that why we're such good friends?
Yeah.
That's how we met.
Buddy!
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Sometimes they'd be like, "No, I'm not." But if they said, "Yes, I am," I'm like, "Yeah, I could feel it."
Yeah.
I'm a Scorpio. We just really go well together.
You just go out in July with girls with happy birthday tiaras.
Yeah. And just look at them and just be like,
You're a Cancer.
and just walk away.
Really?
Yeah.
My best friend and my husband, Scorpio. Or
Scorpio.
Cancers. Yeah.
Cancers.
Yeah.
Damn. So I gotta find a Cancer,
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah.
That's it.
Man.
But I don't do that anymore.
You don't do the game of.
I try not to, which is so funny because now that you don't do the game, it's like more women feel it, and it's like, bro, since I've been in recovery, like I've had a girl try to pick me up while I was taking my morning walk.
Yeah.
I'm like in shitty pajamas, dude, with a coffee in hand, pulling up like, hey, and I'm like, hey.
It's the universe. I think the universe tests you. You're like, I'm just trying to be a good person.
For sure, it's something.
I'm just trying to be a good person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to be addicted to things that are all around you. You know what I mean? Like you are always going to be around women, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And like and most people like the feeling of having someone attracted to them and getting attention, right?
Yeah,
Everyone gets that hit, and it's just like the fact that of whether you have like that addictive pull towards it. But it's just crazy to be addicted to things like alcohol or like attraction or anything that's like on every corner or just around you all the time, because you just have to learn to mitigate it, right?
Yeah.
Like in a way that maybe like, I don't know.
It's like, can my brain?
I don't
Can my
walk
brain
past
stop?
crack every day?
Right. It's like, can my brain stop trying to actively kill me with
Right.
everything?
Well, you don't have to seek it out. It's just there always and constantly.
It is, and it's so funny how your addiction is very conniving. It's very, and I subscribe to the idea that your addiction isn't bad. I think your addiction was your best friend at one point. And it was the thing that was getting you by.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a coping mechanism.
And you have to thank it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be like, thank you so much. You were just trying to protect me.
Yeah.
I kind of don't need you anymore. But I fucking love you and thank you so much. Because I don't subscribe to the it's a bad thing about you, because now you're splitting it. Now you're telling yourself like there's a bad part of me and a good part of me, and I have to be good in order, because that again it brings in more shame.
Right.
And my thing is shame, validation, shame, validation, shame, validation, shame, and it's a fucking circle that keeps going on and
Right.
on.
Yeah.
You get one, then the other one follows it immediately.
Right.
You get another one, you follow. So you got to be like, yo, thank you so much. You know? And even when it creeps in, be like, oh, hey, you're just doing that because you still think you need to protect me.
Yeah.
You know? You
Yeah.
still think you need to protect me. And you got to talk to it. You got to talk to it. I don't know. That's me. I got to talk to my addict.
Yeah.
I got to talk to the little boy in me like, oh,
100%.
dude, you're just looking for love right now.
Yeah, you're like
Making-
reparenting yourself.
That's exactly it.
I love you, my guy.
Thank you, baby boy.
Dude, thank you so much. What a great
I love
episode.
you. Yeah, this
Yeah,
was
thank
amazing.
you so much.
Thank
It was
you.
great, dude. I almost tried to cry once.
Yeah.
But I held it in.
We'll cut it out.
I held it in. He saw it a little glossy, but I was like, it's the lights, dude.
JR Cruz, man. I forgot to mention, hell of a stand-up comedian, hell of a guy, but a world-class director, too.
Oh, world class. Thank you for that.
Dude,
Yeah.
I have never. We did he put me in his movie. And
Justin is an amazing actor. Great dude, killed it. His biggest problem was choosing the takes because they were all good, and that's not even messing around.
like you trying to pick.
We trying to choose the takes because they were all good, dude.
Thanks, man. I
Like it
appreciate
got to the point where we're like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
But
thank you.
It was dope. And you were the best actor in terms of attitude and like being willing to do whatever the fuck was
Yeah.
needed.
Thanks, man. It was
You know?
it was really fun.
Yeah, dude, I didn't have to worry about you. So there's some times where I would forget to even talk to him during set because he was so professional, knew everything, and I was like, dude, this is someone I didn't have to worry about. And when you direct the film, you have to worry about 20,000 things. So one less thing to not worry about makes it dope.
Thank
dude.
you, bro.
So thank you for that,
Of course,
bro.
thank you.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's our episode. I do want to plug the phone number now if you guys want to call and leave us a voicemail. 323-272-3908 is the hotline. Make sure you say it's for Foster the Podcast or Kristie or Justin, and we will read your questions on the air. Visit us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, THE Justin Foster. Thank you, Kristie. Thank you, JR.
Thank you. Thank you, Kristie.
We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.